and the disciples were looking at that pile of rocks. Man, John, did you ever see anybody have to go through this before? Only what I've seen with Christ. Man, them things were bouncing off his skull. They were bouncing off of his face. They were bouncing off of his chest and his back. This is awful. What do you think we should do with his body? I guess we should probably give it a proper burial. Maybe contact his family because he didn't make it. You see, some people have given up on you. They've seen you in a hurt. They've seen you struggling, but they've given up on you. I sit there and I think of that young boy. I'm not going to mention his name right now, but I think of that young boy so many times, been rejected by so many people. And people ask me, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? It's because I refuse to be another person in a long line of people that rejected him. I believe that there's something underneath those rocks. You hear what I'm telling you? I believe that there's something underneath that stone. I believe there's something underneath the rubble. There's some life in the midst of those ashes. I believe that there's some life there. I guess we should bury him. You know, sometimes they're too far gone to help. Sometimes they're too far gone to help. He's always going to be a drunkard. He's always going to be a drug addict. He's always going to be a pervert. He's always going to be have money problems. He's always going to have issues. We might as well just bury him there. He's always going to have a temper. He's always going to have be jobless because he can't go under anybody else's, be obedient to anybody else's rules. He can never do those things. We might as well just bury him right here in the street. But something happened right there on that road as they were talking about ways of burying him, as they were thinking about what to do next. All of a sudden, I can just picture it. A little bit of the gravel begin to move. A little bit of the stones begin to fall off. And they're like, what is going on here? And about that time, a hand bursts through the rubble. And he pulls himself out. And the Bible says this, that he rose up. He came to the city. You hear what I'm telling you? He didn't sit there and cry out in pain. He didn't sit there and waller in self-pity. He didn't sit there and even try to do it for the wound. It's time to do the work. Let's get up and go. Let's get up out of the addiction. Let's get up out of the rubble. There's still life in me. He rose up. He rose up. He rose up and came into a city. And the next day he departed with Barnabas to Derbe. Barnabas was who he was on a missionary journey with. And the next day, got up and he went to work.
Thank you, Lord.
Some things happen to us sometimes. We lose a job and we go into a depression for 6 months. We lose our dog and we felt like we just lost our mama. Something bad happens. I didn't get the promotion that I wanted. Well, God must have just left me here. I don't understand why I'm even fighting. I'm not even sure why I'm doing this thing. Where's been my blessings all along? But somewhere in the midst of all of this rubble, I believe that there's an unlikely survivor, one that they said would always be that way, is going to rise up out of that place. One that said, you'll never amount to anything, is going to rise up out of those I'm a survivor.
Thank you, Lord.
The unlikely survivor is going to rise up out of those ashes. Do you have the strength to rise up out of the rubble? Do you have the strength to rise up out of those rocks? Paul rose up out of those things. He stood up a survivor. Your fight is not any different. It's not because of any past mistakes. It's because of who you're standing with. You'll be like the tree. Will life begin to sprout in the midst of your doubt? Like the tree, life is going to begin to sprout in the midst of your pain. Like the tree, life is going to begin to sprout in the midst of your misery. In the midst of all of those failures, life is going to begin to sprout. I'm here to tell you, you're a survivor. God has put life in you. It's coming out. It's getting up. You're not done yet. There's more. Coming to resurrection. There's a fire inside of you. You've come this far because you're a survivor. A lot of you've heard this story, but I'm going to go ahead and tell it again. Because I believe that it goes along with this message. But I want to talk to you about the bugler. Some of you already know where I'm going with it. You know the bugler. A young man joined the military one day and hopes to be the bugler for the military. Back in the day, before modern technology, all they would use is a bugle. Charge! And they would know, all the troops would know, okay, we're supposed to go forward in the battle, and we're supposed to keep fighting, and there's reasons why we're going to keep fighting, because, the master believes that there's still hope, that we can overcome. There's reasons why we're going to keep fighting, is because our commanding officer sees a weakness in the army of the enemy, in the platoons of the enemy, and if we keep charging, it will be defeated. But this bugler was, before he was ever trained, all of the songs that he's supposed to use out in the battlefield, he was taken to war. So the only song he knew was do-do-do-do-do-do, charge. It went out to the battlefield. And the battle started raging. The enemy came upon them and they were losing soldiers left and right. The commanding officer looked at the bugler and said, "Boy, you need to sound retreat." Well, the boy didn't know how to sound retreat on the bugle. He's only been taught one song. And so he went, do-do-do-do-do. And all of a sudden the men and the people that were fighting in the battle began to raise up and began swinging their swords and began to fight back and began to make some progress. But the enemy that they were facing was very strong. And it wasn't very long before they began to get overtaken again. And the commanding officer said, "Boy, I said play retreat.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah.
Yes, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
You hear what I'm telling you? You see someone that was abused. When you look at someone in the mirror, you see sometimes the people or the person that other people think they see. You see the one that's been a drunkard, the one that's been addicted, the one that's been struggling with depression, the one that's been sexually abused, the one that's been abused by their husband, the one that's been touched. You hear what I'm telling you about? You see the pervert, you see the one, the pornographer, you see all of those things, but down inside, God said those days are over. There's a survivor inside of you. You will see yourself as defeated. God sees you as victorious. Rise up and fight. You see yourself as dying in the battlefield. God says it's time to rise up and win this battle. I refuse to lay in utter ruin.
Hallelujah.
Oh, thank you, Lord. Hallelujah.
He's sounding forth the trumpet that will never sound retreat. I asked her to sing it, Brian. She wouldn't do it. She goes, I don't know that. I know that song. Like, oh, you know that song. Oh,